Hola, mi gente. Welcome to another episode of Sazon Talk.
As always, I am Janelle.
And I am Amanda.
And welcome to another episode this week. Before we get into even the topic, let's just catch up real quick. Amanda, what's going on? Any new shows you watching? Anything new and popping?
Well, it's not a new show. I don't think I've ever talked to you about it, but for anybody that's an MTV lover like I am watching The Challenge, and it's almost at its final. So I'm just like, oh, finally. And I'm also a Teen Mom person.
Oh, OG.
That's yeah, OG. I haven't watched this last one, but it is on the recording. And I also finally saw Law and Order with Stabler in it.
Okay, so I'm not on episode 2 yet because I hadn't watched this week because
I didn't watch the second
when I was
one
in Tampa and I changed the TV, my home Montana goes, "Why'd you change the TV? I don't want to see Law and Order." So I didn't get to see this week's episode. But I saw the first episode and I was glued. I was like, because it's Stabler. Because I can't get, I told y'all before, I can't get with the special. I can't get with the rape cases all the time.
Yeah.
I'm checked out. But Stabler, though, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I was just mad that the Daddy-O got shot in the first episode. It just was all fuckery. And I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But other than that, I have, and RuPaul is almost at its finale. Are you catched up yet?
So, like I said before, I'm going to wait till it ends. Like, wrap it up.
It's almost done.
I'm gonna wait till the very end. Wrap it on up.
It's at the part where, because this is actually my first season of RuPaul, like the full season. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I started watching it, whatever the last season was before, but I watched the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
And so, so this is my first full-long episode of RuPaul Drag Race, and I'm
enjoy it, relish in it. Like, no, I'm just RuPaul for me, especially because we were spoiled when we were in Texas for New Year's, because that's all we watch is to binge it. So I'm just gonna binge watch that one. Any new shows that I've been watching?
I probably would definitely end up doing that. I just gotta kind of figure it out
yet. But Jamie Foxx has a new TV show on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just came out either today or maybe the last few days, but it was top 10. So I'm gonna check that out. What else have I been watching? Grey's.
I have to catch up on Grey's.
I
feel like I have to. I feel like I'm my roommate. Like, I need to emotionally prepare myself for this.
Every episode gets me every time.
Yeah.
I didn't cry last week. This week I didn't cry. But I ain't watched it yet, so I can't even spoil it. Never mind. But last week I was like, oh, it's so nice. So it was like a happy cry. I was like, oh.
I need to watch it. I did hear of somebody that came back, and I was just like, I definitely need to watch this.
Who came back? I don't know who came back. Or maybe I don't know. I'm gonna let you watch
I'll just figure it out, yeah.
Because I'm thinking, like, who came back? But what else have I been watching?
I was also heartbroken because I did see that Papi Chulo passed away. Like, they cut him off, DeLuca. And I really loved DeLuca.
So my thing is that I don't know how Meredith's gonna feel about that when she really realizes that.
Right.
Even though she kind of like smitten with the other dude that got the accent, that had the black wife that died.
The one that came in season 14?
He came like last season or maybe the season before, but I think he's like brand new.
Okay, then I know that she was like kind of stuck between him and DeLuca.
Right.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Because I didn't see 15. That's why I'm kind of saying, like, I need to see season 15.
Oh, listen, I stopped counting after 2. So at this point,
yeah, because I think they're on 16 right now.
Oh, so yeah. See, I just know when it starts, it starts. What else have I been watching? That's really it. I gotta watch. That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna catch up on Mayans because that's my shit. But I've been all wrestling out, so that's why I'm like not even touching Peacock because I cannot look at wrestling right now. It's too much last week, too much. For those that are listening, I had went to WrestleMania. I was in Tampa, Florida, for seems like an eternity. But we were there, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so 4 days.
Listen, Dre was like that. I had a whole full 7-day-a-week job because obviously I was hosting the raffle Saturday and Sunday. And I actually do work Sundays. So it was just like, I just worked the full whole week shift.
Shit, I had I flew out. We recorded Thursday morning.
Right.
I literally went home, grabbed my suitcase, went to the airport, got on the plane, went to Tampa, was there, and then flew back Monday and went straight to work. So it's just been nonstop, but it's been a good time. And then we've had some really dope interviews outside of Sazon Talk for Job and Tears podcast, which is this week, which has been really good too. But once again, support all the podcasts on our network. It is dope. They are different flavors for different taste buds. So you have us, of course, with the spiciness and flavor of Sazon. And then you have Two and a Half Bros. And then you have Job and Tears podcast. And then who am I? And then you have Your Sports. So
and then you have the game night with Janelle and Mikey.
We're gonna revamp it. So we're gonna do. I think we're gonna try to release one more episode. It wasn't so much of a game; it was more of a topic. Okay. But we're in the plans of revamping the entire even the title down to the title. We're gonna revamp it. But yes, and then Mikey's gonna be working on his EP. So he has his single "Bad" out. So make sure to listen to that on streaming platforms. Cheap plug for him. Because I support the babes because he supports. Let me tell you, shout outs to Dre, because remember when we did our Secret Santa, and it's actually the ring light was not really what I wanted.
Okay.
I wanted the overnight bag. That's actually what I really wanted.
I think originally we were looking at that, but that sucker was sold out.
Right. So I just was like, damn, when y'all told me that when we did the gift exchange, I was like, damn, because I really wanted I didn't want to say ungrateful, but because I knew that, with the pandemic and recording, lighting in the house, it was bare minimum. So I love the ring light, but Michael Bostic loves the ring light more than I do. Because he just always talks about how it just like the light hits me and how I look. And I'm just like, all right, babe. Okay, it's all right. It's just light. it's lighting. It's fine. So
it's like a perfect filter. Like for me, like I have mine on, but I have to kind of stay down here because I do wear glasses, and then if I go up, you can see it in my glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, like I look like I have a whole beat face, and I don't. Yeah, you do. So thank you, Andre, so much for this gift. I look forward to this year's Secret Santa. We got a few birthdays coming up.
I think we're changing it. I think we're doing the grab bag.
We're gonna do the grab bag.
We shall see.
Hate the grab bag.
You suggested grab bags.
I did.
Yes, you did.
I say so. I hate it for me because I feel like I'm gonna get the worst gift ever. But I love the concept and it makes it more interactive and fun. Like when we do just a gift exchange, it's just like, well, here's your gift, instead of like going around and digging in a bag and being like Santa. Like, so I kind of like the environment of it versus the actual like thing.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll do the Secret Santa. Maybe we'll like I've seen. I don't know what it's called. But you wear like the oven mittens and you try to like unwrap, but you have like a certain amount of time. You sit in a circle, and you try to flip the cup, and if the person lands it like right
so you basically playing flip cup with mittens.
No, so you wear the mittens to open a present, but it's like really wrapped, and then but the person next to you is trying to flip the cup so that they can open it, but there's a gift inside.
That's too much. First of all, you already know the group of friends
I have to find it, and then I think it'll be hilarious, especially if we're drunk. I think it'll be hilarious.
Drunk. I'm giving up.
No, I think it'll be more hilarious if we're high.
Drunk, yeah.
Because All of
So
us just be mellowed
speaking
out.
of high, and we're gonna get into the tonight's. We're gonna get into the episodes shortly. We're just catching up. Speaking
Because
of
it's been a
high,
minute.
Zaddy Cuomo has now signed off where you could smoke weed in New York State, and they're working on getting dispensaries and stuff like that. But me and Danny and went. This is, I don't want to say it's an underground place, but it's an underground place, low key. And basically, it's the THC experience, like the. So it's basically off of like, what's it? Is it Pizza Push? Well, it's called Stoned Pizza. But the place, like I've actually, I don't know if you were here for that pay-per-view. Over the summer last year, I think it could have been a TNA like Impact like pay-per-view that I ordered. And we had got the pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried it and we were just, woof, we were gone.
No, I wasn't
So
there.
now they actually have an actual place where you can sit and it's an experience. Like it's a 4-course experience. And I mean down to the fucking water has THC in it. So we had,
Listen, the last time, that's not the last time I got high, but the last time I was outside and got
were you with me? What did I do it?
no, but we were at Legends. It was just me and Drake because we had the rope.
Oh, I don't really care for the rope. So I had the
No, that one was strong.
so I had the rope. I had the nerds rope in
Yeah,
in Texas for
in
New Year's,
Texas.
and I didn't really care for them because I don't really like nerds. Like I didn't really care for the nerds part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
But Britt was
Oh.
saying she understood what I was feeling because she was feeling the same. Listen, I'm telling you, I don't know if you saw me, but I was just like, yo, this boat won't stop
Oh,
rocking.
bitch! You don't remember the time you was at my house and you was cracking it up? You
I
was
do.
cracking it up. So I know, but no, nothing. I think the highest I've gotten, like top 3 times, Colorado when I went for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I barely remember dinner. I barely remember. I don't have no pictures. Like that's how you know it's real. Because everyone that knows me knows I am a picture fanatic. I take pictures of every and anything.
Yep.
There are bare to none pictures of my actual birthday in Colorado. Like everything else, like every other day, there's pictures. We went out, we did things. My actual birthday dinner, where we went to the aquarium to have dinner,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
thought
I
I
only
was
remember you posting a picture of like the menu and you could see the aquarium.
you see, yeah,
That's about it.
that's how I felt. I felt like I was in the tank. That's how high we were. And then the other time was super high. Low key was Atlantic City for this one's birthday that
Oh,
just passed because I had that brownie and I was gone.
was it the same brownie you had here for Christmas? No,
No,
not Christmas. Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. No, it wasn't. It was
Okay,
totally
because
different.
that was slumped.
But to be fair, so we also did smoke too. So and then I feel like
That's
one of the times me and Mikey had smoked together in the house, like we were just stuck and we fell asleep on the couch. that probably takes the cake. But Britt will tell you we tried to get her. She wasn't high. She'd say she probably was, but when we went to Texas for her birthday 2 years ago,
Oh, she told me about that
she
one.
decided to take a few pulls, but she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really high. She'll tell everybody she was, but I don't think so. And Joy didn't think so either. So, but we'll take her word for it. And then when we just went for New Year's, and she had the rope, but she had the rope right before she went to bed. So it was just like, sis, we wasn't that high.
Listen, when I had that rope and I finally made it home, I knocked the hell out. I was gone.
Listen, you never want to be too high the way you throw up. That's actually, that takes the cake.
Really? I've never, like, I usually,
No,
like,
don't do it.
when I'm so high, because obviously, like, like, we have the pens and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, I just be like, okay, it's not nighttime because I am so gone right now.
See? But Zaddy Cohen made it legal, so everyone can smoke in a police officer's face and not get arrested.
I think it's so funny because we were talking about it at Legends, and they were saying literally the day it was legalized, mad people were smoking weed outside. I was just
Mad
like,
people smoking outside and recording themselves. and saying like the cops can't get me now. It was crazy. It was wild. But the world's changing, things are changing, so the world's starting to open up a little bit more. So, just gotta take it day by day. But enough about us. Let's talk about tonight's topic. Which honestly, it's so funny because the topic came to me when I had a conversation with Wilkins' girlfriend in Tampa.
Oh, so she did go.
Yeah. I met her for the first
Nice.
time. So she's super sweet. She may try to come, I think she said, the next few weeks. So everyone hopefully will be able to
Nice.
meet her.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a conversation me and her had at brunch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's crazy because we were it looks like fucking the Last Supper table, like the picture we took with everybody at brunch, because it was like 16 of us. But when me and her spoke, it just seemed like it was just me and her. So that at that point, I was like, all right, I'm tuned in. But we spoke about, and it's tonight's topic about confidence,
Mm-hmm.
about you exuding confidence, about you building your confidence, about high points, low points, about confidence, because it plays a part really in every single part of your life. And it's one of those things you don't think about, but in the back of your mind you do. Because like for me, I'd be like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, no, you're more than okay. And I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So when
That's
me and
that's
her,
definitely my favorite is I'm okay or I try.
mm-hmm. So
So
when me and her spoke, she spoke very, and I appreciated her for her words and her kindness. She just spoke so, highly of me. And it's just weird when you hear other people talk about you, where
mm-hmm.
it's just like, I'm confident, I've gotten, it's taken a while to get to the place I feel like I am for
Mm-hmm.
my confidence level. Shit, even doing a podcast for the last 3 years, if somebody would have told me in my 20s that
Right.
that's what the fuck I was doing, I'd have been like, no. So
Right.
even just doing something as small as the podcast, the confidence has to be there. It has to always be, you got to be on. So her telling me like, listen, like, I know how you feel. Like, you see yourself one way, but everybody sees you another way. And
Mm-hmm.
we just have to continue to build build our confidence. And when she said that, it clicked to me. And I said, well, you know what? I feel like it's something that everyone struggles with. I feel like not only myself, and I said, I thought of you. I said, we all struggle with that just because of what we've been through in life.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about it, and just kind of figure out like our path to our own confidence. Because even like for you doing Sazon talk, I was just like, girl, you sure you want to do this? Because of how sometimes quiet and to yourself you can be. And I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like certain opportunities, certain things we've been able to do, not only with Sazon talk, but just with the Job and Tears Podcast Network in general, like it's all brought out a certain level of confidence, I think, in all of us that we didn't think we had.
Right.
So, first question then is like, do you feel like, are you more confident now than you were 10, 15 years ago, and why?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Because even like you just said, who I never would in my life thought that I would be doing a podcast.
See?
Never. There was times that I thought about doing like a YouTube channel, and I was just like, I don't like talking in front of a camera. Like, like who's gonna listen to me, type of thing.
Right?
And there's just so many things that I want to do, and I talked to them obviously with Trey, and he's just like, then do it. And I'm just like, I don't know.
It's
And he's like,
hard.
what's stopping you? And I was just like, because then I have to be in charge. he's just like, he's
And
like,
that's what I
ma'am.
think we like, no one ever connects being confident and power
Mm-hmm.
together. Like I never would have. So like, camera wise, I'm on. What you see is what you get. I'm gonna just be me. It's fine. But then once the lights go off and the camera stop, I'm just like, it's okay, guys. We did good. All
Yeah.
right,
Like,
bye.
it's even like just my image. Because before, like, I remember in high school, I used to straighten my hair all the time. Once I learned how to use a flat iron, that was my life.
Mm-hmm.
For a very long time, that was my life. I felt like I needed to, in order to look presentable, I needed to straighten my hair. When I got into curling my hair, I would do it. My hair doesn't really last when it's curly. Um,
My hair don't last when it's flat. Shit.
yeah. So like the only way I get it to work and I realize is when I wash my hair and I air dry my hair. I don't really use the blower to dry my hair, but I take it in my natural state and I curl it and it lasts. The only thing is that my hair gets super knotted. Um, but that was my thing. Like I remember even when we started our podcast or when I did the other podcast before, I needed to have my hair straight. I needed to at least curl it or something. Now I'm just like I'm at the point where like I'm just gonna throw a messy bun on.
Fuck
I
it.
don't care. I haven't straightened my hair in like
Girl,
2 weeks. I think
this is thanks to the rain here in New York, the rain in Tampa, Florida.
Tampa.
Like I just gave up. I was like, all right, I'm done. Like I'm just like I was saying earlier. I was like, I'm just gonna wash my hair and just have it curly
Mhm.
now because it just is what it is.
Yeah, because
But
even like that, and even what I was wearing, because literally I'm wearing like I threw the shirt on because I had my pajama shirt on earlier because it was like super duper cold earlier, and then now it's hot, and so I threw it on the AC. But like underneath, I'm wearing my pajamas, and I'm just like, you know. But even like when we go to the studio, I'm always like, okay, I need to look presentable
yeah,
because it's
you.
kind of a thing in my mind that I feel like I need to look presentable.
But that's fine. I think that's
Hmm.
never the problem. I think, you know, going to confidence. What's your definition of confidence? Like what for you? How would you define it?
It's so like I was going through like Google because I know what it is, but when you kind of try to describe it, it's just like how do I describe this? You know, but to me, it's like because I always try to feel like okay, confidence is just like it's something within and also without in the outside because it's something
Mm-hmm.
that I feel inside like if it goes in regards to how I look, am I comfortable who I am, how I look. When it's the outside is kind of just like the confidence of being who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard for me to explain it, but it's super duper important to know what your own confidence at least.
Right. And I think, you know, even at like 31,
Mm-hmm.
going on 32,
Mm-hmm.
I think more recently I've realized like confidence because I don't really think I had it like when I
Yeah,
was a teen.
me neither.
Like I didn't think about it. I never really, cared about it per se. And then in college, it was more or less like I never forget. At St. John's, we had like a class called Discover New York. Every freshman had to take the class.
Mm-hmm.
We were sitting there like, we from here. Why are we taking this class? But regardless, there were just different assignments and different things that we did in the class. One of them being doing public speaking. Like one of them, like
Mm-hmm.
getting in front of the class and reading your assignment type of thing.
Yeah.
And at the time, he was my ex, but then we ended up getting back together. My boyfriend from college. He was in the class with me.
Okay.
So like him knowing me, and I felt so it was more weird. I felt like it was more pressure. Like I was just like, oh my God, this nigga knows me. Like I don't want to talk in front of the class. Cause on top of that, I hate my voice sometimes. I'm just like, I don't know how I sound.
Yeah.
So it's the worst. But I think going through those experiences, like doing that, I did a public speaking class in college. I did, most of my advertising classes had like group projects where we did presentations and we did things like that. Like it kind of helped me kind of break out of like that shell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think just professionally being in the positions that I've been in has helped me build confidence because I've been able to learn how to network, how to have conversations business wise, how to have relationships business wise. So I just think, throughout life, you gain those kind of like charms in a sense to help build the confidence. But I feel like we always talk about like confidence, but that self confidence part, I ain't mastered that shit yet. I don't know how to.
Right.
Because like I told you from the beginning, how people see me, I don't necessarily see myself. And it's not a
Hmm.
bad or good thing. It's just that's just what it is. So
Yeah.
like where everyone's like, oh my God, you're so this, you're so that. And it's just like I appreciate all the positivity, of course, but it's like I'm just me. So I
Right.
don't really see what y'all
Yeah,
see.
it's definitely hard because it's just like, you know, you get those messages and you're just like, even does it all the time for me. Like, he like, beautiful as always, and I'm just like, I guess,
Okay.
or
Girl,
I try. And he's
this
like,
man
can you stop saying that? And I was just like, I don't know how to stop saying that.
listen, Mr. Bostic over here always is like, why are you so beautiful? Like, why are you this? Why are you that?
Mhm.
And I think it's because I know for me, I never really had, of course, guys would say, like, oh, you fine, you're this, you're that. But you being in a situation where you're with someone and you guys have a lot of love for each other and you want, like, there's just a different vibe to it.
Yeah,
It sounds different and it
it is.
feels different. So, like, when he says it, I'm just like, okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
it looks like it was.
All right.
And yeah, for me, it's more like I get what you're saying because obviously for me growing up, it was hard.
Absolutely.
Like I never really got complimented from my family that I was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I was more called, and I'm comfortable with saying these things now. Before, I would never tell anybody what they would call me, but I would get called like the Beast because I was big. I was a big girl, um, or like it's just a lot of mean things. That's why I always say like I'm. It's very important what you say to a children because it's
They
gonna
carry
imprint in
that.
them.
They carry
Yes,
that.
they
This
carry
shit
that
that
and they gotta keep that in their mind for the rest of their lives.
is super important.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like with me, I grew up thinking like I am this beast that that people talk about, and that's probably why like I got when my marriage ended, it was just like you're never gonna fight somebody like him. Like
Oh, that's a
you should
lie.
have just kind of you should have just sucked it up and dealt with it. And then even like somebody close to me was trying to teach me a lesson by saying because my ex would throw shit on the floor like his clothes, his underwear, his socks, and I'm just like, I'm not your fucking mom because
His
his mom
shit
will
would
pick it
be
up after him.
his shit would be in the garbage.
Right.
Don't think
So
stuff on the floor is garbage. So your shit on the floor, sir, would be garbage.
right. So they were trying to teach me a lesson by like putting something on the floor, and sometimes when your mind is occupied, you don't see things. And so, like, even like when I'm on the street, if I know in the morning, I have my brain set, okay, I just need to get on the bus, get on the train, and make it to work. I'm not thinking about who I'm gonna see outside, what stores is gonna be. I'm not doing all of that. My mind is just focused. Okay, this is what we gotta do, and let's go. And even when I walk, I'm rush, rush, rush. We live in New York, so everything is rush,
Everything
rush,
is
rush, rush,
go.
rush. So they try to teach me a lesson, and then they were kind of saying, I did that because that way you can learn how to pick up stuff, and you won't lose a husband again. And I was just like, and that was so hurtful for me because it made me feel like I was wrong.
Right. And you wasn't. Like you chose you. I think that's what people don't realize is at times you have to choose your own happiness.
Hmm.
And if it means being called selfish, if it means
Hmm.
people looking at you differently, then they really wasn't fucking with you from the beginning. So it doesn't
Right.
even matter. Because like for me, like you mentioned, like as a kid, like I never got the compliment thing. I never got the like, and it's not. Once again, it's never a shade to neither one of my parents. I never got the "I love you" thing. I
Yeah.
like rarely got that.
Hmm.
But the whole like compliments, especially from you, like your dad, like so I never
Yeah.
got that. So like hearing it from the opposite sex, I always question that shit, because I'm always
Mhm.
like, well, what's your alternative motive? Because that's just how my mind operates. So now I have to kind of shift and adjust my mindset, because not everybody that's around you is on that type of time. Like, I'm
And you
just
know
like,
what it is? You know what it is too for me, that I started to develop like my boobs. Um, I think by like 12, 13. Like I was already wearing like a size D, and everybody was just so focused on the boobs and my ass, and I was just like, oh my god. So even like growing up as an adult, and even sometimes now, it was just like, guys kind of just look at that. They don't really want to know, because I've had people like before, they'll be in my messages, and I'm not sure if I messaged this here or not, but they'll be like that they're in love with me, and I'm just like, you don't know me. You already in love with what you see. I can be a whole psychopath.
oh, they
I
don't
could be a
understand
woman beater.
that.
Like I could beat on the man.
They don't understand that, because I definitely
Right.
have encountered that plenty of times, where it's like, oh, I want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you don't
Right.
even
And
know
that's the thing
me.
too, like that
So,
person, and this is in the past, but that person never made an effort to
who say that
know
again
who
for
I
those louder in the
was.
back? Effort.
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 And so with that, like, with just my body image, that's always been an issue, because it's either, I'm a big girl and guys don't like that, or they're just more focused on my ass and my boobs, and it's just like, like what happened with, I personally, and I say this to like people that I've met in my life, or like even guys in my life, because I just have issues like trusting sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I was dating this guy that he was hot, he was good looking, and
How
I
hot?
went, huh?
How hot on a scale from 1
He
to 10?
was like, I'm trying to think of somebody that you would think is hot,
Thank you,
because we
because I don't think you're
definitely
very hot.
have different
We have
tastes.
different tastes.
But he's
And
like
I'm
he's
blessed,
like a
because
9.
literally all of my friends, we all have different tastes.
Well,
Literally.
he was not tan. He was a little darker than tan, but he's Dominican, and he was tall, and so the height was just like, I was just like, damn, and because he was like 6'2" or something like that.
Ooh, that's hot.
Yeah. And so, but that made me feel like, when I'm next to him, and then, when I hug him, and it's just like, okay. And he was super strong. Like, he would pick me up and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, papi, está bien.
Where he
And
at?
so, but I went away to my country, well, my adopted country, which is El Salvador. And I came back, and he got a girl pregnant. And I was pissed.
You was sick.
I
Ooh, you was
was I
sick,
was
sis.
so
You was
type of the,
sick.
because at that time, like, and I don't know if I mentioned this here either, but this confident thing is freaking, like, if you really think about it, it's huge. And your
There's
confidence,
layers to it.
yes,
It's complete layers to it.
yes, because that, like, my confidence level went way low, because the fact that I was young, so I wasn't having sex. And then when I finally decided to have sex for the first time, it's kind of like in my brain, I feel like I needed to have sex with my partner so they wouldn't break up with me.
Oh, so you connected having a sexual connection with somebody to the value of the relationship.
Yeah.
Ugh,
And
girl,
that, like, for a while,
it's a no
for,
no.
for years, that was my issue.
Well,
I
I'm no
always
better,
felt,
because my confidence, in terms of attraction to the
mm-hmm,
opposite sex, literally, I make the worst decisions ever, ever. And
mm-hmm,
for some reason, and I realized what it was, and it was more of a me thing than people.
uh-huh,
But I, for some reason, always attracted guys who were unavailable. Like,
mm.
either they were married, or they were in a situation,
Oh,
or they didn't live
I've been
here,
there too. Uh-huh.
or just all of the above. And a part of that was, and once again, it's a connection to the confidence, because the confidence you put out would also means the energy you give out.
Yes.
So the energy, I know looking back, the energy I was giving out was, you're cool. I like hanging with you, but I don't want to commit. I'm afraid. I'm
Hmm.
good. So you not being able to commit to me makes me feel comfortable in the situation. But then it logically, it doesn't make any sense. But for the time being, it made sense. But it kind of at times was a blow to my confidence, because it was like, is this all I'm good for? It's like, am I
Hmm.
always gonna be
Right.
someone's second choice? Like, am I never gonna be someone's number one? Like, so that over the years started to build, and I had to kind of break out of that and stay like, I can't keep doing this, because like I told you
Right.
before, when we were in pre-production, I said, you can't keep doing the same things and expecting different results. So I couldn't
Hmm.
sit there and keep making the same decisions and thinking things were going to be different. So I had to be like, no, no, no. And essentially that kind of helped build my confidence to be like, okay, cool. Like, I've never been, and that's the funny part, is that I don't consider myself super duper confident, but like people around me, especially like my girlfriends or people that have known me for years, and just see how I interact with the opposite sex, it's just like, girl, you will talk to anything. Like, and either they gravitate to you, or you'll just spark a conversation and now they're intrigued. But in my mind, I'm just being me. Like, I'm not doing anything extra. And I think it's all about being confident within yourself. And that takes time. Like, it's not an overnight thing. But for years, especially like Britt and Joy, to always be like, you never have an issue like talking to somebody. And I was just like, I don't, but it's not always the right person. So actually it's
Hmm.
irrelevant if I talk to them or not, because they're not right all the time.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Like, it's for me. I started to develop more of my confidence. Like I was telling you about the whole sex thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when Dre and I reconnected again, um, I kind of put ¿cómo se llama? I put boundaries,
Okay.
and because we were reconnecting again, and I needed to clear my mind that I'm not only wanted for sex, and it helped so much. My confidence grew more. I started to be like, okay, I have somebody that actually loves me for who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
And it took, that's what I'm saying, like, it's hard when you're with somebody and you're just like, so let's just kind of just cut the sex out for a little bit. And you're like, what? you know?
Because you don't really realize, like, it is an important part
Hmm.
to any relationship.
Yeah.
It's just not. It shouldn't be the focal point of the relationship,
Hmm.
unless that's just the type of time y'all on, and that's what y'all decide as a couple. Is like, all we gonna be doing is fucking and not talking, and that's different. But in
Right.
most healthy situations, you want more out of it. You want to be able to have conversations with the person. You want to be able to laugh and talk and cry and
Yes.
get angry with them, and then
Yeah,
you know.
because we connected more. We were hanging out more. We were getting to have all these different conversations that you would think that because we dated for 2+ years that we know so much, but just getting into our third year together, we were just like, damn, I didn't know all about this, like, and then we spoke about our dreams, and like we spoke about our dreams before, but as I'm getting older, I still have more stuff that I'm just like, you know what? I think I really want to do this and this and this and that. And he's just like, that's awesome. And even for him too, like he opens up these new doors that he is looking forward to. He has his podcast. He wants to grow more in that podcast. I have
Mhm.
mine now with you. And it's just like, I want to expand more on this too. So it's definitely, it was definitely well needed for myself,
And I think that's the
so
important part in terms of, kind of not in a sense breaking generational things, but just
yes.
in general, being able to break out of bad habits. Because I mean, in all actuality, you gotta have you gotta have some level of confidence to do what we do to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing, because you gotta be kind of like, not everybody's gonna agree, not everybody's gonna like you, not everybody,
Yeah.
people are gonna say mean and nasty comments because it's the internet. But I think when you get to a place and in a space where you're comfortable with who you are, and you don't question that, and you don't say like, well, even though we may cringe at a compliment, because that was the one thing my mom had to teach me. Because people would give me compliments, and I wouldn't say nothing because I wouldn't know what to
Mm,
say or
right.
how to react. I still don't know what to say or how to react. But the one thing my mom taught me, she said, always say thank you.
Right.
She said, because it was one time somebody said something to me and I didn't say nothing back. And she was like, "You rude." And I was just like, "What?" I said, I didn't know how to respond. And she said, regardless of how you may or may not respond, make sure you always say thank you. I didn't raise you to be rude. Her words, not mine. But I didn't think it was rude. So now like my whole probably like mid-20s, 30s, any guy that's ever like complimented me, I always tell him, but my mom always told me to say thank you. So I'm gonna say thank you, and I'm gonna walk away slowly. Thanks. Bye. Like, so,
Right.
but I mean, confidence is just, it's a part of who you are. It's really more or less your definition of it for yourself. And I think we would be fooling ourselves if we would be like, we don't have confidence, because we do.
We do.
So I just had to tell, I had to, before we end off, I was like, I think about it. We some confident bitches. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah, like I find myself now, like if I do my hair or I put on like a little bit of mascara or something, or maybe, if I dyed my hair or if I did my eyebrows, I look at myself and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of cute. Or like,
Let that angle hit you right. Because
yes,
because in
like you
all
take that
honesty,
selfie and
confidence, because confidence is going to equal to self-love, which is going to equal to,
yes,
it all ends up being a cycle. And that's just really what it ends. That's really the tail of the tail to it. It's like your confidence is really a subsection of your self-love and your self-worth. And that's why it's important to always build those things up, because if you don't, who will? Like, we can hear all the beautiful things in the world, from our prospective partners and people around us and friends and family. But if we're not saying those things to ourselves, and if we don't have that type of belief, it's not, it falls on deaf ears.
what
So
is it
you,
that RuPaul says?
if you don't love you, who, if you don't love yourself, who gonna love you?
Hmm.
Can I get an
Can I get an
amen?
amen? Amen.
Amen. Now you gonna make me binge watch that shit tomorrow, because I ain't going nowhere Friday. But any last words on confidence before we do close out?
um, no, I think we spoke a lot about it.
It's a
Definitely,
journey.
it is.
It's a
If
process.
you're listening and you're like super young, like a teenager, like my sisters, you know, you're still beautiful.
Absolutely. And you are loved and you are appreciated. And the one thing I think I've learned, and I'll end off the episode with this, is honestly, affirmations are a wonderful
Yes.
tool,
Listen.
especially to help you just build that like confidence in yourself. And just
Hmm.
sometimes you need certain quotes and words and things that's gonna hit your spirit,
Yep.
especially if you're going through things. So
Yes.
I highly recommend, those that are watching or viewing or listening, that in terms of building your confidence, just take Google some affirmations, and sometimes putting it on the wall and seeing it, and it mentally being in your thoughts. That's the way to go about it.
Right. I definitely, not because I mentioned about teenagers. One thing I was gonna say was that I also dealt with my confidence in high school,
Mm-hmm.
where I felt I needed to be popular in order to be seen and for people to kind of like me, kind of way. So if anybody is young and still in high school listening to us, you don't need to be popular.
You
Just be
know,
you.
be you. And I think that sometimes that honestly is what gets you, it it get you the niggas. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. When you be you,
Listen, when
you gonna end up bagging somebody you ain't think you was gonna bag. Cause this
hmm
happened to me a few times where I was just like, how did I get that?
let
Why
me
just
tell
be
you,
me?
I was always the quiet person in church. You know, I grew up in, I mean, sorry, in school. I grew up in church, so nobody really like. I swear, nobody knew who the hell I was. When I had my first fight in my junior year, everybody went around saying the church girl fought two girls and
Well,
fucked them up, and that's how I was known. I was just, and then my friends would tell me because I had one friend that was like a grade under, and then everybody else was my same grade. But it was like they were going around talking about the church girl. And we were like, wait, y'all talking about Amanda? And they text me, and then, but like obviously I didn't know, nobody knew who I was.
uh,
So, but you don't have to fit in. You don't have to be like the girl that's, with always a popular one, then all the guys follow her. You don't need that.
no, because guess what? Jocks like smart girls, and
Mm-hmm.
pretty
And
boys
we're
like
wrestling girls, so
one
we
of a
got good
kind.
guys.
Now, I let me not say that that's gonna incriminate myself because I was just like, girl, if there wasn't a whole pandemic, I was joking with my homeboy Jeffrey. I say, if WrestleMania would have been last year, I'd have been a whole single girl. I'd have been out here in these streets. This year, I gotta be good because I ain't single no more. And I was like, you
Right.
say you lucky hoes, you. But it still was a good time though, and I have a good guy that honestly just the one thing I will say is that he's probably the only person that I've probably been with or been able to like really, really get to know and still
Mm-hmm.
get to know. He lets me be me. Like I could be corny, I could be silly, we can laugh until we fucking in tears.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can he lets me be me. He lets me like he knows like if it's wrestling, if I need to go, he's like go because he knows
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna come back to
Right.
him. So he's just like go have a good time and it'll be what it is. And it's super important to me because I always tell people I've never really been able to be with somebody that understands my lifestyle.
Yes.
And he kind of does. I just don't want to give him
Mm-hmm.
too much credit because he knows at least one time in any episode he gonna be talked about. So I'm just like I don't want to talk about you no mo until you get your podcast up and running and you talk about me, and then that's
That's
different.
right. You
But
better.
but yes, ladies and gentlemen, just make sure to always be you, stay true to you. Um, your confidence does not have to. It's not a scalable thing. Don't feel pressure that that someone's more confident than you. No, you're just your own confident, and that's
Yes.
just that. Um, anything else before we go? I'm trying to think. Um, before we go, oh, anyone? Last but not least, anyone that we've had one or two guests on, but we're transitioning and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get more people on. So if you are very interested in being a part of Sazon Talk, please make sure to message us at Sazon Talk on Instagram. Give us your
Mm-hmm.
availability, and we're gonna do our best to get as many
Even if
guests.
you're from a different state, like we can do
State,
StreamYard.
country, I don't
Yes.
care. Well, country is a time difference thing, so we may have to talk about that. But no matter where you are, if you want to hop on and you have a topic that you want to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
bring it to the table. We are
Yes.
open for suggestions. We are open for guests now. So make sure to message us at Sasson Talk on Instagram. Make sure to follow us at the Job of Tears Podcast Network on the YouTube page. Make sure to like, subscribe, and you can comment on below your
Yes.
thoughts. What do you think confidence is? What's the most confident thing? What's the most confident thing you've done? What's the most confident thing you've done? We'll end off with that.
I don't know.
I mean, what? You don't know.
I guess that what I said before about like sexting was like the whole sex
Oh, okay.
thing.
Most
I didn't want
confident
to
thing
sound
I've
like
done.
sexting.
Probably the most confident thing I've done. Yeah, being in college actually helped a lot in terms of speaking in front of people. Like, I was a part of a student organization.
Nice.
I had projects. Like, we hosted events. speeches. So I definitely shout out to St. John's University, even though I'm paying for it all of my life, but it definitely is giving me the tools to really be able to do things and speak and be able to not be afraid to speak. Because sometimes I was like, I don't want to speak in front of the mic, but then you give me a mic and I'll talk all day. So, and it's just because I'm just gonna be me. So that's just gonna be what it is.
Yeah.
But once again, you can listen to this episode and are plenty of other episodes on the Shop Tears Podcast Network on YouTube, but also on all streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, all that jazz. So make sure to continue supporting. We do truly thank every single person that's listened, not only to our podcast, but all the other podcasts under our network. Once again, we cannot do anything without the support of our friends, family, and fans. Even though I don't really consider people fans because that's just not me. It's weird. It was crazy
Our
because
supporters.
we gotta find a name for like that. Like, you know how like Justin Bieber has the Beavers, or like what else? Just, like, we gotta find a name. We
We'll
gotta
figure it out. Or
gotta figure that out.
if you guys figure it out for us, let us know.
Please do, because you know I'm getting old. We getting old out here. This one turning 30 in a few weeks. I'm gonna be 32 in a few months. It's just, ugh, Lord, it doesn't even feel like it. I still feel 30. I think that's just. I think I'm gonna just feel 30 until I'm 35.
That's your confidence.
And then all that, and I have great genes, so I think I can still live the 30 gimmick for a little bit longer. But as always, I am Janelle.
And I'm Amanda.
And we thank you guys so much for tuning in on this week's episode of Sazon Talk.
Bye.
Toodles.